And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
The End is Nigh is a great name for a board game. I really like this. The End is Nigh. It's good. It's a game in which it's a doomsday scenario. I think a comet's about to hit Earth or a meteorite or something. And so you have a group of people who are going to be in a bunker together trying to survive this. The problem is as this comet is hurtling down, you find out that one or more of these people in this bunker are cultists. And you don't really want to spend doomsday or post-doomsday with cultists, so you're going to want to kick them out. So that's a social deduction game, trying to figure out who's a cultist and who's not. Here's how it plays. So there are going to be 6 people placed in the bunker. The game comes with 8. You're just going to randomly put out each of those people. And they're going to have identity, they're going to have trait cards placed with each of them. Some of these trait cards mean nothing. Vegan, multilingual, rich, genius, universal donor. They're just put in there to be funny, I think. But there are 2 cultist cards in here. And if a player has a cultist trait, whether one or both of them, they're a cultist. There's also a jerk who, if you look at that person, you have to claim they're a cultist if they have no exile markers. The pet dog negates a cultist card. The pet cat, though, gets rid of the pet dog. The prophet negates a cultist card if they're in the 6 or 12 position. And the doomsdayer is a cultist card if they're in the 6 or 12 position. So you're going to shuffle these trait cards up. And each player is going to get 2 of them. And they're going to be put down different ways. Like, for example, the celebrities get put in a pile. So does the undergrads. The hermit has 2 placed like that. The childs go in a pile. The geezers go in a pile. And the conmen's go like that. So they're going to be differently placed based on who you have. Each player is going to get an allegiance card. One person, many people, will be civilians. The fanatic wants there to be a cultist in here. The civilians want there to be no cultists in there at the end of 12 turns. Each player is also going to get 2 identity cards. These look like business cards. And you're going to pick one of them to keep, and it basically gives you a special marker, a special ability that you can use over the course of the game. Now, on a player's turn, and like I said, there's only 12 turns in this game, that person is going to question a refugee. They're going to look at each refugee, pick one. So, for example, the con man says, switch one of his traits with any other trait from refugee of your choice. Now view Kirk's new trait. So I might be, all right, I'll switch it with the top one here from the celebrity. Now look at the new one. Well, he's a genius, the con man. Well, big surprise there. So I know that. I then show that he's been used. That means the next player can't use con man. I then take the token off the 1 and I vote for somebody. I can't vote for common. I don't know. This one might be a cultist, but I'll go with celebrity. I don't know why. The next person then looks at the celebrity, says view the top trait, show it to another player of your choice, and put it on the bottom. So I look at it, it's rich. I show it to the guy who just put one there. I said, look, you liar. Put it here. Now I have to vote for someone, so I'll vote for the child. Then the next person looks at this one, says shuffle both of Elmer's traits, view one, then shuffle the traits again. So we shuffle these up here. We look at one, universal donor, and then we shuffle them again. If we look at the undergrad, it says view both traits, then blindly select one from someone else. So I'm like, okay, they're the prophet and the pet cat. Return 2 traits to Rachel and 1 to the other refugee. So I'll pick one of these, shuffle them together, and do this. And each time someone's voting, they can vote for the same person. They're voting to exile. But when the red one comes out, whoever has the most is exiled. If there's a tie, then the next player picks. The next player says celebrity's gone. When that happens, we take both of these, the traits, and put them aside. We don't look at them. We then keep going as the game goes by, and maybe eventually the child is voted off at the end. Once that happens, we look and see who's left over. So we turn over both the hermit's cards. He's a cultist. Oh, everyone loses because he's a cultist. She was the prophet, vegan, and the other cultist. So the child was not a cultist. They were a doomsdayer and rich, or a celebrity, and the child was just a multilingual with the dog. Now that was just me kind of randomly playing. But as you look at these different people, as you question them, vote to exile, refresh the previous person or exhaust, and then you'll refresh the other person, You're going to be using their special abilities. You're going to try to get the dog over to where one of the cultists is. You're going to try to vote off one of the cultists. You got to keep an eye out where that Doomsdayer and the Prophet are. And if you pull it off at the end of the game, one side is going to win based on your allegiance. Don't forget you have these identity cards, so this person, once per game, can question an exhausted refugee. This person can question 2 refugees. This person here can ignore a refugee's effect. So like, for example, this says shuffle both its traits, view one, then shuffle again. You could just view one without shuffling. This person here can question someone, follow the text effect as usual, but they're not exhausted. This just lets you exhaust somebody. So these are going to be used also, and that's how the game is played. Now the theme fits this game fairly well, although there's a little bit of a hang-up I have on it. It's that there's refugees here, and you're talking to these refugees, and one of them is a cultist, and I can't tell if you are one of these refugees, or you're like someone else, and if you're someone else, why aren't you suspected? So it's a little odd, right? Thematic-wise, because you're looking at these 6 refugees there. When I first played this game, I thought, wow, the Doomsdayer, the cultists, they definitely have an advantage because there's 2 of those cards out there, and you got to get rid of both of those, you know. And at 6 turns, it could, and the fact that people are actively working against this, and then I saw the good guys win, and then I saw the good guys win again. I was like, because first of all, manipulating that dog to where the cultist is negates one, and then you only have to get rid of one other and just make sure the Doomsdayer himself is not in the 6 or 12 position. Or even get the Prophet in a 6 or 12 position. There's actually more, and so there's some clever play. Now there is luck in this game based on where the people are. Sometimes you look at a card, and sometimes you randomly vote for people. You know, you're kind of spreading your votes out at the beginning, unless you find a cultist quickly on, and then you know, everyone, this is the cultist. And so the game has some specific rules about that. You are not allowed to show your card to anyone else. That makes sense. You can, you know, say whatever you want about your card, right? When you look at the people's trait cards, you are allowed to say this is a cultist. If it's the jerk card, you have to say it's a cultist. But you're not allowed to say what else it is. You might not say, this is a Doomsdayer, or this person has the dog, or this person has a cat. Keep that cat away from the dog. You know, you can't say that sort of thing. All you can say is the cultist thing. And that's a little iffy, right? It's a little clunky because you're like, oh, there's a dog there, but how do I say it? You're like, well, this person is a good person. I'm glad they're in our group. And so it's a little clunky there. I feel that you're not always able to say exactly what card, which makes sense game-wise. It would be way too easy for the good guys. But at the same time, how oblique can you be when you're saying the clues, or how oblique must you be, I guess is the correct phraseology. So I like it. I like that they're different. You know, it's like, are we going to kick the kid outside? And the kid's card makes him out to be a pretty whiny brat. I guess it's to make you feel better about throwing a kid out in Doomsday. And even if the kid was part of a cult, should you kick them out right before Doomsday? I think you could retrain them and get them out of their ways. So I do like the game, though. It's fast. I mean, there's only 12 turns. There's voting. There's different ways that the cards move around. I think it might have been interesting had there been like a few more of the characters, because there's 8 and 6 of them are in the game, so 2 aren't in. They each have, you know, there's a couple special abilities, like the athlete never gets exhausted, fine. And I do like the business cards. I like that graphic design of the game. I like the cubes for a fairly inexpensively designed game. I mean, it doesn't look great. The components are pretty good. The artwork is fine. It's very easy to read the cards and see what they say. The whole thing comes together. And what I like about this one is it's a fast social deduction game. So because it's so quick, if you mess up, you can start it all over again. And it does feel different than the other ones that are out there. So, yeah, the lack of smoothness might keep me from saying this game is excellent, but I think it's a worthwhile one to check out. Who are you going to keep in the bunker? And I do like the theme a lot. So that is The End is Nigh. Great name. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.